Who makes the best entrepreneur? The other day, someone asked me this question. Who should I invest my valuable time with? And who makes the best sales leaders? And who makes the best entrepreneur? You see, over the course of 26 years, being an entrepreneur myself, and the ability to work with so many different sales leaders, entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs, I'm gonna share with you my 2 cents today, who actually make the best sales leaders and who actually make the best entrepreneurs. I'm not talking about desire. I'm not talking about you gotta hustle Dr. Dark. You got to, work when you don't feel like it. You gotta have a dream. You got to believe in yourself. Man, that's all given already. If you want to succeed big as an entrepreneur, those are the basic fundamental traits you got to have already if you want to succeed big as an entrepreneur. I ain't talking about that. I am going to share with you who makes the best entrepreneurs, who makes the best sales leaders. Now notice I always use the word entrepreneurship and sales leader connect together because I always believe in entrepreneurship equals sales. What makes someone a great entrepreneur? What makes that person great in sales? Here's what it is. The first thing I say is responsibility. If you can find someone that has to do something rather than want to do something, that's the first one. There's a difference between someone say, you know what, I got to be successful. I got to make $10,000 a month because my mother is sick. I need to buy the best medication for her and it costs me $5,000 a month. You see what I'm saying? Chip on the shoulder, responsibility. That person most likely will go the extra mile to do the uncomfortable things than a person that simply just want to succeed, that want to be an entrepreneur, right? So the first thing is responsibility. The second thing, someone who is driven by love and passion of what they do rather than driven by ego, right? Don't get me wrong. We all, as human beings, has ego. Believe me, I ain't talking about the ego where you don't listen to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I ain't talking about the ego where you're listening to somebody who never built anything, financially still struggling. You need to have an ego in front of those people. But I'm talking about when you have an ego in front of someone, something that is much bigger than you. You met somebody who's way ahead of you. You met somebody who's been there, done it, and trying to teach you one thing or another, and you still don't want to listen. You still have that big ass ego in front of that person. Now, that's the problem. Most of the people who eventually plateau, most of the people eventually stagnate in their life and business is because they let that massive negative ego get into their head. And when they meet that one or two right people in their life, they still don't want to listen because they think they're all that, all right? The best candidate, the best people make it as a great entrepreneur one day is someone who's driven by love and passion. I'm talking about love for their cause, love for their company, love for their family, love for what they actually do. See, love can conquer everything, right? Love can pretty much conquer everything. If you're in a profession where you find someone who truly loves the crusade, not just the money part, the crusade, the cause part, that person will eventually make it as a great entrepreneur. Another element I have to say is someone who is constantly learning. A lot of people I met over my 26 years in sales, one of the things that I hear people say all the time is, you know what? I know. Do you know Johnny, that guy that built a gigantic company? Yeah, I think I know him. Do you know how to sell? I read a couple sales courses. I think I know how to do it. Most people, they are so uncomfortable admitting to people that they actually don't know much, right? They always say, I know. They're pretending. How many times have you driven and you got lost and somebody sitting right next to you and say, hey, you know where you're going? Now, by the way, that's before the navigation system is invented. And they sit right next to you, do you know where you're going? And you be like, most of the time, what does people say? I think I know. And you get lost again. You wasted another 45 minutes. All you needed to do is to stop by a gas station or somewhere and asking people for direction. But you didn't because you're so embarrassed, you're so afraid to admit that you don't know something. And I think the people who make it great in sales and the people who make it great as an entrepreneur, they're constantly learning something new. They're constantly recreating themselves. They always say, I don't know. I don't think I know. I think I know, but I still want to learn more about it. And if you're constantly learning, you constantly relearn, you're constantly recreating yourself, you're always going to be ahead of the people who just think that they already know everything. Another one, immigrants, right? People from another country came to the United States for capitalism, for freedom. Those people usually make it great as an entrepreneur because they appreciate the opportunity. They're more hungry. They are more driven because here's the bottom line. When you never experience something that great and when you finally get it and you waited for so long, they usually have gratitude towards that one thing, to that one opportunity, for that freedom they're looking for many, many, many decades. Now again, I'm not saying that if you are born in America, you live in this country, you don't make it great as an entrepreneur. I am absolutely not saying that. I'm simply saying who has a better chance make it great as an entrepreneur. And you and I both know people came from another country, came to this country, and they see the stuff that they never experienced in other part of the world. So immigrants make it great as an entrepreneur. And the last one I have to say is that people who has chip on their shoulder. Chip on their shoulder. They have someone to prove right and they have someone prove wrong, right? It's very simple. You're asking somebody and say, listen, why do you need it so bad? Why do you want it so bad? And she reply to you and say, you know what? I want it so bad because I need to be successful. And you go a little bit deeper. Why do you need to be successful? And she reply to you and say, you know what? I got to prove somebody wrong. And you go one more level deeper question and say, and ask, who is that someone you need to prove wrong and why? And she replied to you and said, look, I need to be successful because my ex, all right? And my ex left me. My ex told me without him or her, I would never make it big in life. I need to prove him or her wrong. Bingo. That person truly has a big chip on his or her shoulder, right? So if you find those people and you're willing to invest your time on those people usually make it great in sales, make it great as an entrepreneur, make it great as an entrepreneur one day, all right? So again, hopefully you guys are enjoying my weekly content. Post a comment below, share this video to anyone that you think can benefit out of my content, and click the link below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. As always, I appreciate you and see you next time. JW here, take care. JW here. If you like my content, comment below and download my JW Just Win app. See you next time.